Welcome back to Online Sunday School for Little Lambs. Thank you so much for joining us again today. Today is a really special day. Does anybody know what day it is? It's Easter, yes. Today is Easter Sunday, and I'm really excited about today's lesson. Now, tell me this before we start. Did anybody get an Easter egg? Maybe you got more than one. Oh, that would be lovely if you did. Did anybody get to make an Easter craft at nursery? Maybe you got to do some lovely baking at home with an Easter theme. I know one person did because I saw some lovely Easter buns in pictures online. All these lovely things remind us about Easter, and they help us to celebrate Easter. But what's Easter all about? Do you know? Well, our story today is going to teach us about why we celebrate Easter. It's going to teach us about the very first Easter Sunday. So I want you to listen really carefully. You know, the Easter story is maybe the most important story you will ever hear. The Christmas story is very important because it tells us about when Jesus was born. But the Easter story tells us about when Jesus died, and that was really sad. But it also tells us about when he came back to life again. Jesus rose from the dead, and that's amazing news. And the Easter story teaches us that Jesus is alive today, and that's amazing. So let's listen.
Jesus loves me.
It is finished. The religious leaders told the governor Pilate that Jesus was dangerous and wanted to be king. Pilate asked Jesus, "Is this true?" "I am king," Jesus answered, "but not of this world."
"Jesus is innocent," said Pilate. "There's no reason to kill him. I will set him free."
But the crowd shouted,
"Kill him!"
So Pilate had his soldiers whip Jesus. They forced a thorny crown on his head. Then they laid a wooden cross on his back and led him up a hill. There on that hill, the Roman soldiers nailed Jesus to the cross, hands and feet. Then they raised it high. Jesus hung there between two criminals. Around noon, the sky turned dark. Jesus' friends wept. The religious leaders laughed and said,
"You saved other people. Why can't you save yourself?"
"Forgive them, Father," said Jesus. When the time came for Jesus to die, he closed his eyes and said, "It is finished." He had completed what he had come to do because of his great love. One of Jesus' followers, a man named Joseph, put Jesus' body in a brand new tomb. He rolled a huge stone in front of it. A long, sad Friday was over.
A happy Sunday. On Sunday morning, some women went to put burial spices on Jesus' body. They knew a big stone was covering the tomb's entrance and wondered how they would move it. When they arrived, the stone had already been moved. Jesus' body was gone, and there were angels in the tomb. "Jesus is alive," the angels said. "Go, tell his disciples." The women told the disciples, and Peter and John ran to Jesus' tomb to see for themselves. All they found were Jesus' burial clothes. They went back home, confused. Later, the disciples were gathered together in a room. They were talking about what had happened when Jesus appeared to them. They were terrified. They thought he was a ghost. "Don't worry," said Jesus. "See my hands and feet. It's me. Touch me." "Go on. You can't touch a ghost. And ghosts don't eat either. But I'm quite hungry." So he ate some fish. Then he taught them. "The scriptures are clear," he said. "The Messiah was supposed to suffer and die, and then be raised from the dead. Now tell the world what you have seen. Let everyone know that their sins can be forgiven if they turn to God. It's possible because of what I have done.
There's a life that's never ending. There's a truth that lights my way. There is mercy that's new every morning. It will never go away. Oh, that we would always see Father's love for you and me. Yeah. Hey, Jesus loves me. Hey, Jesus loves me. Hey, Jesus loves me. The greatest thing that there could ever be is that Jesus loves me. Na 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 na. Jesus loves me. God the Father up in heaven, holy is His name. We will live with Him forever. That's why Jesus came. I wish we could always see Father's love for you and me. Yeah. Hey, Jesus loves me.
For our craft today, we are going to make an Easter garden. We are going to make the empty tomb to help us remember that Jesus rose from the dead and that He has power over death and He's now in heaven. So these are some of the things that we need to make our Easter garden. You're going to need some little stones or some pebbles. You'll need a big stone as well, because remember the big stone covered the entrance of the tomb. You'll need a little jam jar, or a flower pot would do, or any other little pot that you have at home. You're going to need an elastic band, a pair of scissors, and remember, always get an adult to help you with the scissors. You'll need a paper plate or something to base your garden on. And you'll need some moss from your garden. If you don't have moss in your garden, you could use grass, or you could even use some green fabric. And the last thing that you need are just some twigs from the hedge, a bit like this. Okay, so these are all the things that you need. And the first thing that we do is we're going to take our paper plate and we're just going to put some moss or some of the grass down on the paper plate. And you want to leave a little gap for your flower pot just to sit in. And your flower pot is going to be acting as our tomb. So that's what it looks like at the start. The next thing then you do is you take some more of your moss and you just put the moss over the top of the flower pot and round the sides a little bit, okay? And that just covers it over and makes it more like a tomb. Then what you want to do is you want to take some of your pebbles and just place your pebbles down the side, and that helps to hold the moss down. So we'll take some more and we'll just pop them down this side. Just like that, and that holds our moss in place. There we go. Okay, so it's looking slightly more like a tomb now, covered in grass. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our big stone. This is my big stone, and this is what's going to cover the entrance of our tomb. So we're just going to pop that at the front like that, and that's it, covered over. Now remember, Jesus was nailed to a cross.